Hi class and welcome to Bio 181 online. This is spring 2025. I'll be your host. My name is Dr. Lewis Obermiller. I'm a doctor because I have a PhD in molecular and cellular biology and biochemistry that I got from ASU in 2000. I've worked on cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and breast cancer at the Carl T. Hayden VA Medical Center, at the Genome Institute of Singapore, and the National Institute of Health. So that's a little bit about me. I just want to do this intro video because we won't be really meeting in person except for office hours, and so I just kind of want to go over what is the expectations for the course. So if you go to mesacc.edu, you'll see here there's a link called Canvas. You want to click on that. I'm not going to click on it because I've already logged into Canvas, but this is what you'll bring up now. This is an instructor view, so it's a little different, but it's similar to what you'll see. So on the home page, we have office hours. So these are my office hours in the syllabus. And you can please read through the syllabus thoroughly. There's a syllabus quiz. So if you want to do well on that, you should read through the syllabus. My office hours are going to be Tuesday, Thursday from 9:30 to 10:20. And then I have an in-person lab on Tuesdays and Thursdays and an in-person lecture after that. So I won't be available on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I will do online office hours during my in-person office hours, so you can jump on there on Tuesdays and Thursdays if you want between 9:30 and 10:20, and I'll have the link set up. All you have to do is click on this Google Meet link, and it should take you right there. Of course, if you use Google Meet, you know that I have to admit you into the class or the meeting, so you might have to wait if I'm out of the office or talking to another student. If for whatever reason you can't get in, just send me an email. Sometimes I have computer problems, just like all you guys, and so just let me know you're trying to get in, and I'll let you know what's going on. On Mondays and Wednesdays, office hours are from 10 to 11 a.m. And then on Fridays, I have a pre-med club meeting from noon to 1, and then I'm doing independent research 298 AA. We're doing some eukaryotic cell culture, various different cancer cell lines. And so if you're interested in doing some research and you do well in my class, then you can hit me up in the fall, and I will probably be continuing this research and maybe do some gene editing as well. Okay, so that's the office hours. Again, it's in the syllabus, and you can read that for yourself. When you take your test, you'll take your test online, so you cannot use a Chromebook unless you have it set up. You have to have the help desk set up a Chromebook. You can use it on an iPad, but not a phone. And you can obviously use a Windows or a Mac. There has been some issues with Macs that don't allow the images on the exams to be shown, and I think it's a Canvas issue. It doesn't seem to happen on the iPads, but just be aware of that, and we'll do a little tester before the actual exam. So when you take your exam, you'll have access to a periodic table. I want you to use this periodic table. You're going to print it out. Here's the link to it. You'll print this out and you'll use this the whole semester. So this will be your periodic table. You'll show it to the camera when you take your exam, and then you'll show it to the camera again after you take your exam. And then you'll need it for exam 2 and 3 and 4. There's 4 exams in this class. Okay, so let's go back to here. All right. So a lot of the things in here, Canvas tries to do a good job of reading Microsoft Office documents. My PowerPoints, my lectures are from PowerPoints. I don't put everything on the PowerPoint, so you cannot just study the PowerPoints. If you do, you're going to fail the class. You need to listen to the lectures because the PowerPoints are just a guide for me. Otherwise, my PowerPoints would look just like a textbook. So make sure you listen to the lectures and make sure you take notes. I'll tell you what you do not need to know during the lectures if I talk about something that's, relevant or current event or interesting. So anyway, if it cannot read PowerPoints or a lot of the documents that we have for the labs are in Word, then every MCC student and every Maricopa County Community College District student gets a free access to Office 365. This is the link. You should be able to click on it, and then it should bring you straight to here, and then it shows you how to download it. Again, if you have any questions, you can call the help desk. I think their number is 461-7217, but you can always look it up as well. Okay, let's go back to the home page. All right, so all the lecture video recordings are in here as a YouTube video. These lectures were made 2 years ago. I haven't changed a single thing, so I'm not going to remake videos every year and talk about the exact same thing. However, this is a new intro video, so the intro video that you'll see is probably from 2023 or 2024. I will update this video that I'm recording right now into Canvas, probably in announcements, in this link of lecture video recordings, and then whenever it's finished and processed, it'll also be available on YouTube. I want you to watch the intro so that you know what's going on, because if you don't watch this is the very first thing I do in my in-person classes, is go over how to use Canvas in the syllabus. So watch this and read the syllabus. That's 100% required for this class. All right, so every one of the lectures is here, linked to a YouTube video. You can click on it. It'll probably give you an echo because it's going to be talking with me behind it here. But this is where it goes, and it will show you for all of those lectures. You also can individually look at the lectures. So we'll go back home. So you can look at the individual lectures here, or you can look at it as a playlist here. So I'll click on the playlist just so you can see what it looks like. And then it'll take you through all of the different videos that I have, how to draw an MS Word. You're going to need that for your chemistry at home assignment, so make sure you watch that. This intro video is for fall 2023. I made a new one. I make a new one every semester, so I will either add it in and you can just ignore this in a separate link, or put it in the announcements or something like that, so that you'll have a current video of your actual class, which is 26506. Okay, so you have some options for tutoring. Obviously, I'm the best tutor for this class, so you can come to my office hours. They're in the syllabus. Like I said, my office hours, my office is in NU 183, has my name on the door, so you can't miss it. I'm normally not in my office. I'm doing research or something else if it's not during office hours, so you probably won't just catch me hanging out in there unless I'm doing some sort of grant or research. Anyway, so if you need help, you can come to me, right? You come to office hours and I can help you. If you can't make it to office hours, there are tutors. I have an embedded tutor in which kind of like a TA in my in-person class, and he is willing to help you guys to do tutoring sessions. I'm not sure if he's going to broadcast those or not, or if they're going to simply be in person. We're still trying to work that out. But he also works at the virtual tutoring center, which is I linked right here, and it gives you the instructions on how to do that. I'll click on that now so you can see what this looks like. And then you can just pick what you want to tutor and when you want to tutor it, and see if the tutors are available. So let's say we're doing a virtual biology tutoring. We would click on this link, and then it would tell you that no users are found because no one's in there to tutor, because the classes don't start for another 4 days. But when they do, you'll see people up here, and then they're either available or not. I think in-person tutors have priority, or in-person students have priority over online students, is what I was told. So again, if you can make my office hours, that's your best bet. There's also another thing that MCCD, the Community College District, pays for, which is this, what's it called? Brain Fuse, I think. Yeah, Brain Fuse tutoring. This is an outsourced thing, so you're going to get somebody probably from another country when you do this. I've used this before. So you put in your MID and your password. and then you get 10 hours of tutoring through this. So, well, like I said, I've used this before. The tutors seem to know what they're doing. I've only had them like kind of freak out on me once when I was asking them a really complicated PhD question. But for Bio 181, it should be fine, right? So anyway, you can use that, and that's 24/7. So you can go on there if you have insomnia and you can't figure out the valence of nitrogen, then you can go in there and ask them. All right. So let's go back home. And okay, so PowerPoints, tutoring. If you don't know how to use a Canvas, the Canvas system, this guide will help you to use the Canvas system. These are the PowerPoints, right? So remember, this is what I cover in lecture. So you'll see when you watch the lecture videos, I will show these PowerPoints as well. And I write on the PowerPoints. So I'm taking notes on the PowerPoints as I give the lectures. Make sure you take the same notes from the lectures that I give you on the PowerPoints. We go through every chapter. Chapter 1, I don't follow the book. Chapter 2, 3, 4, all these other chapters, I follow the book. There's not enough time to do all of them, so we're going to skip ones that I find less important, which is chapter 11 and chapter 15. Other than that, we're going to go through 1 through 17 straight, couple skips in there. Now, this class is a difficult class. There's two reasons that this is a difficult class. One is that you're learning biology, right? The study of life. Bios is study, ology is life, biology, study of life. You're also going to learn chemistry because basically what life is a bunch of chemical reactions that allow you to do things like move your muscles and think and send electricity to your brain and all these other things. So you have to have a basic understanding in chemistry. I know a lot of people, when they signed up for this class, don't read the requirements of the class, but one of the requirements, it's not a requirement, it's a recommendation, is that you have at least one semester of college chemistry or 1 year of high school chemistry. Now, if you don't have that, that doesn't mean that you're going to fail the class, but what it does mean is that you're going to have to work extra hard to get to that level of people that have already had chemistry. To do that, there's some ancillaries, which are basically materials outside of the class. One of those is a book. It's called Chemistry for Biology Students by SACAM. Again, it's linked into the syllabus, so you can open the syllabus and look at it and order it through there. It will help you do practice problems, right? It's like, great athletes. They're not like Tiger Woods doesn't just pick up a golf club and just go out there and play, 15 under. He hits 1,000 balls a day. The Cardinals have practice every day except Friday. And then, of course, the weekend. We're talking the Arizona Cardinals, by the way. Even if you're trying to learn an instrument, right? You want to be really good at guitar, what do you got to do? You got to practice. So we just call practicing studying in science. And so that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to practice. I mean, think about it like this. I've asked you to play Mozart's Piano Concerto number 7 in 1 month. Somebody's already had, 6 weeks of lessons. Can you not catch up to them? Of course you can. Is it going to take extra effort on your part? Yes. So you're going to have to practice extra hard if you don't have chemistry, but it doesn't mean you can't do it. The other part that makes this class difficult is you're learning a foreign language. The language of biology, the roots, just like I said, bios and ology. So bios is life and ology is to study. That's from Latin. A lot of the things that they say in the medical field, like stat, that comes from statum, which means right away in Latin. Even parts of the periodic table, like gold. Gold is AU. That doesn't sound, those aren't the initials for gold anywhere that I can see because it's German. Same thing with sodium. Sodium is Na. So, you're going to have to learn these basic chemistry, molecules, atoms. if you don't already know them. But we're not, this is biology. We're not doing all kinds of crazy stuff you don't need to live. Like, you don't need mercury to live. So, we're not going to study any of that stuff. We were going to study any of those, generally study any of those metals or heavy metals. They're not required for life. And we'll go over what's required for life and what I want you to know in subsequent chapters. To help you learn these words, right? I set up some crossword puzzles now. You might hate crossword puzzles, and that's fine. I don't care. It's not going to hurt my feelings. But you need to learn these words, right? And so if you want to make flashcards, or you want to use StudyMate to make flashcards, which is over here, you can do that. I don't care. But you need to know what the complete genetic code of an organism is. And if you don't know that for the test, then you're going to miss that question, because I ask that every year. And the answer is genome. Now, I'm not taking this up for a grade. I don't really, it's kind of an honor system. I'm hoping that you guys are mature enough and old enough to know that you need to do this. So I gave you the answers to the crossword puzzle. So you could totally cheat and, fill them out. But that's not going to help you on the test. And by the way, the test is done under a lockdown browser. So, and there are all kinds of eye tracking stuff and all other things, counter intelligence stuff to make sure that you're on the up and up. So I'm just letting you know, like, I've caught quite a few students doing some shady stuff, and we take a trip to the dean's office, and generally they get expelled. And it goes down on what they say, your permanent record. So don't do it. It's not worth it. Anyway, crossword puzzle answers are here. We'll see if I'm lying. 2 down or 2 across should be genome, and there it is. All right, so all these words you need to know. You might not know what Animalia is, but it's a kingdom. You might not know what Monera is, but it's a kingdom. You probably heard the word hypothesis. How do you derive a hypothesis? What's it defined as? What's a nucleus? What's reductionism? Who's Hook? All these things we're going to cover in lecture. So you should be able to answer all of these crossword puzzle questions before you take the test. So my advice to you is treat this like an in-person course. It's kind of on your time, so I'm available on the internet whenever. But if you were going to sit in that class, you'd sit there for an hour and 15 minutes, you'd watch a lecture, and you'd take notes on it. And then you'd go home and you'd look over your notes. And maybe you'd cross-reference your notes with the book. Again, I don't cover chapter 1 in the book, but all the other chapters are from the book. We'll go over the book in a second. So yeah, once you've done that, I expect you guys to go and do the crossword puzzles to test your knowledge. How much have you retained? And study those words that you don't know in the crossword puzzles. And once you've done the crossword puzzles, then I want you to do the study guide. So every chapter has a study guide, right? These are the review questions for the study guide. I didn't give you the answers. I'm sure you can find them on ChatGTP or on Google or whatever. Or the easiest way is to just look at your notes, because everything in this study guide I covered. Now, this isn't everything you need to know. You need to know everything that I talk about that I tell you need to know in the lecture, right? Don't study the PowerPoints. Don't just study the crosswords. You need to do these review questions and be able to answer them. Now, this is just basically memorization. What is valence? Well, valence is the number of electrons in the outer shell of an atom, right? Or unpaired electrons, I should say. Because there's something called valence electrons, which is the actual number of electrons in the outer shell. Why do you need to know that? Well, we use that to predict a reaction. This is why water is H2O and not H3O or HO. So you need to know that. You need to balance equations. You need to know coefficients. You need to know what radioactive isotopes are. Like I said, there's a lot of chemistry in here. This is from chapter 2, by the way. So every chapter you should be doing the lecture, taking notes, going back, doing the crossword puzzles, memorizing those words and what they mean, going through the study guides and being able to answer all the questions in the study guide. Go back and study those. And now you can test your knowledge. So once you've done with all of that, we actually have assignments. I don't know what's going on. But, all right. So we're going to go back to home. Um, all right, and then we get to the genetics chapter. There's genetics problem sets down here too, so don't forget those, and I'll remind you. So every chapter has a study guide, and then genetics chapter 14 has a bonus of extra problems for you to do, and the answers are there as well. And I've also have the answers uh, done on my YouTube page as well. So I've worked them all out and recorded it. So that's all the ancillaries, right? The extra material that you need to know. None of this is turned in. This is for you to learn the material. But you do have assignments. So once you've done all of this stuff, the study guides, the crosswords, blah, 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 the lectures, now you're going to take a quiz, right? So there's a quiz on the syllabus. I want you to take that. You should know the answers to the syllabus because I told you should read the syllabus and know it. You also should watch this intro video. Hopefully you do, and it will answer almost all the questions that you have. All right, so we're going to start. We'll start with let's do chapter 2. So you're going to click on that. Now, some of these are going to require lockdown browser. Where you get lockdown browser is that you simply click on one that requires lockdown browser. So the first one requires lockdown browser. I'm not going to click on that because if I do, it's going to try to install lockdown browser. And I don't care. You can use notes for quizzes. I mean, I'd prefer you not to, but you get to take these 3 times. I only take your highest grade. There's 15 quizzes, so I dropped the lowest 5 quiz grades. So there's no reason you shouldn't get 100% on these quizzes. Anyway, so let's start in chapter 2 just so you can see what it's like. But if you click on that, it'll download the lockdown browser, and then you can see exactly how it works. It's kind of a practice. It's not, but you're going to need that for every exam that you take. And make sure you read the assignments beforehand. So let's go to student view. This is what you'll see. And you're just going to click on take the quiz. It tells you how long you have to take the quiz. You can go back and forth through questions. I really could care less. I have 19 minutes and 53 seconds left. It's a 20-minute quiz. Shouldn't take you more than 10 minutes. Atomic number of nitrogen is 7. Nitrogen 15 is heavier than nitrogen 14. So nitrogen's atomic number is 7. That means it has 7 protons and 7 neutrons. Or 7 protons, 7 electrons. Its mass is 15. This one is heavier than nitrogen 14. Well, I can't change the mass. If I add an electron, it doesn't change the mass. If I add a proton, it wouldn't be nitrogen anymore. So the only thing I can add to make it heavier is a neutron, right? And so I know that this 7 is 7 atomic mass units, right? So all I have to do is take 15 and subtract it from 7, and that tells me that there are 8 neutrons in this sucker, right? And so I'm not going to take the whole quiz, but in the end, you submit the quiz, and I bet I got a 1 out of 10. All right. So anyway, it'll give you a grade right away. It requires you to wait 20 minutes before you take another attempt. That way I don't have students just like trying to blow through the quizzes. If you get behind, I put due dates on the quizzes. If you get behind, you can take the quiz after the fact. I've only made the due dates on the quizzes so that you knew that you were on track. If you haven't taken the quiz, like for chapter 2, by February 2nd, you're behind. And it's really hard to catch up in this class. So stay caught up because you're going to struggle. And then it's kind of like, oh, okay, well, my piano concerto is a week away and I haven't done anything. How you think you're going to perform? And when you get up on stage and you don't know what you're doing, guess what happens? You get anxiety. This is the same thing that happens during exams. Students get test anxiety for the same reason that you would get anxiety if you're supposed to play piano in front of 1 million people and you didn't know what you're doing. So make sure you know what you're doing. And the best way to do that is to practice. All right. So we'll go back to assignments. Every chapter has a quiz, right? So overdue assignments. Did I not change the date on this? I'm gonna get out of the student view. We'll go by type. What? Yeah, I'll fix these so that they're not. I just need to move the date to this year instead of last year. All right. Anyway, so leave student view. All right. Anyway, here's the at-home labs. The you need to order a lab kit. You should order it by the end of this week, which would be next week. So the end of the first week of school, which I believe is the 17th. So order by the 17th if you can. It takes a couple weeks to get in, and I think your first lab that you have due is on. You don't need a home kit for chemistry. You don't need it for the protist. You will need it for the metric system. So you need to have your lab kit in hand by a couple days before the metric system is due, so that you can start working on that. So I would order it by the end of the first week of school. You order it from Home Science Tool. The link is in the syllabus. All right, so I'm just gonna change this date real quick. How does this happen? So there are extra credit available for every one of the exams. Exam one, two, three. The final exam will have extra credit questions on it, and then you can do either do a blood donation or do a volunteer. It has to be something that you're not benefiting from. So it has to be a true volunteer experience. You can't go and give plasma and get money back. That doesn't count. It's meant to be an assignment that you give back to the community. So feed my starving children, donating blood, whatever. Um, I don't see these assignments on the wrong year. Sometimes Canvas it copies a course over and doesn't change the date. It's supposed to, but anyway, I don't see it. Oh wait, here it is. Popular. Okay, this one. 8th. Okay, so I've been making them do on Sunday. So let's change this to the 6th. Save. And then this one will change to the 13th. Ah, you can fast forward through this if you want. Sorry. That one doesn't count. That's Okay, they're all fixed. If you see any errors, let me know. Um, okay, and then the extra credit. This is the due dates for the extra credit. This one, I change this. I thought I just did. Um, still the ninth. Save. Okay, so I think everything's right. If you see something wrong, just send me an email or come to office hours and let me know I screwed up. It happens. I'm a human. All right. Uh, Announcements. So I'll post announcements here. You know, if I'm sick, my kid's sick, I gotta go to the doctor, whatever. Um, then I'll let you know. Class is canceled, whatever. So just make sure you check the announcements. I also post the grades for the exams here and the averages and all that stats, all that good stuff. Let's see. Discussions. You guys can discuss everything among yourselves. One of the things that you have to discuss for the lab is a population genetics survey. So you're going to need to take this. Do you have attached or free earlobes? Do you have a straight or a bent pinky? I'll just reply to that right now. I have attached. Can I do that? Yeah. Attached earlobes. And I have a bent little finger. So these are just Gregor Mendel traits, and you'll learn more about that later on. So, all right. Hopefully that updates. All right. So the discussions here, but you guys can discuss anything you want. In my in-person classes, students talk amongst themselves. Some people understand topics better than others, so you can ask any questions. Don't feel dumb. Like if everybody knew everything in this class, they wouldn't need this class. So, don't be afraid to start a discussion. Uh, like core or whatever, Reddit. Okay. Let's see. Assignments, grades. So I'm not going to click on grades, but your grades will be there. We'll talk about grading in a minute. WebEx, I don't use this. I hate it. I use Google Meet, but you have this. The school pays for this. It's kind of like Zoom, except it's worse. Um, this is the people in the class. The pages are important, so this pages have links to the internet to help you out with the lecture material. I really like Crash Course. Of course, he has a green screen and a million followers, so he can afford it. I can't. Um, the scientific method cricket assignment is here. I think the Glendale Community College changed the URL to the scientific method on the PowerPoint, so don't go off the PowerPoint. Go off of the link that I have in Canvas under extra credit. Anyway, there's different videos on DNA replication and so on and so forth. And then here there are links for the labs as well as there's links within the labs. So how do you do metric conversion, that sort of stuff. Here's the syllabus. I'll go over the syllabus real quick. So here's your section. Here's your lab section. This is my office number. You can leave a message. It gets sent to my email as well. You can email me at overmiller@macc.edu. This is my office number. We talked about this. I'll be in my office on Tuesday, Thursday, but I'll also be online at the same time, so you can jump on that Google Meet if you want. And then Monday, Wednesday, I'm 100% online, 10 to 10:50 a.m. And then Friday, like I said, it's by appointment. The lectures, I told you what to do for the lectures. Watch the lectures, take notes, do the crosswords, do the study guides. You need a lockdown browser for all the exams that you take. That's the only way we can really proctor exams unless we send you somewhere to actually take an exam or you come to campus to take the exam. If you have a Chromebook or an iPad, you might want to contact the help desk. Here's their number. Anyway, and again, make sure you watch the videos and read the syllabus in full. Labs are all online. They follow a schedule on Canvas. You have to purchase the lab kit, and there are also additional supplies that they can't ship, or it costs a lot more money to ship. And my goal of this course, I actually created the first online 181 course in all of the whole district. My goal was to do it as cheaply as possible. So they're going to charge me a whole ton of money to ship hydrogen peroxide that you could get at Walmart for $1. And the same thing with ethanol or rubbing alcohol. So you might have to go to the store and get some Karo syrup or some clay or Play-Doh or whatever. It's not much. Um, they don't make you pay the lab fee, which is $25. So you can just kind of think of it as that's your $25 to go spend on other things that you wouldn't have to pay otherwise. Here's the link to the lab kit. You have to order this lab kit and make sure you go through that lab kit and make sure all the contents match what they said in the packaging material. Because I don't want you to get to the osmosis lab and say, "Oh, my dialysis tubing is missing," which happens all the time. Because there's nothing I can do about it now, right? The lab's due in 3 days. They're not going to rush ship that to you. So, and if anything's missing, contact them as soon as possible and have them send it to you. All right. So textbooks. There's a lot of different options here. You guys know textbooks. Textbook makers have, by law, have to change 20% of the text book, not the text, to call it a new edition. So what do you think they change? They change the pictures. So if you want newer pictures, then buy a newer edition. If you don't care if it has beautiful 2024 pictures and it has 2010 pictures or 2020 pictures, then buy an older edition, right? So, I mean, some of the editions are way outdated. The oldest I want you to have is the 8th edition. It's Campbell for biology students. I recommend the 9th edition. I teach out of the 9th edition. And I do that even though there's like a 12th or 13th edition, because that edition, the new edition, is like $200. And the older edition is like, I think you can get it shipped for under $15 from Amazon. So let's just look. I'm sorry, we wanted 9th. It's not that one. It's this one. So if you click here, I think there should be more. Here it is. If you click here, there's 18 used ones. There are other sellers that sell this too, like Abe Books. Chegg has some. Anyway, so you could get this one for, like I said, under $15. It's very good. And if you order it right away, you'll have it by the time we get to chapter 2. Remember, I do not teach out of the book for chapter 1, and that's the reason, is I want you guys to have time to order your books. So there's the book. Get that book. There are also books in the library that you can't check out, that have the mean librarian there that won't let you take it home, but it's on reserve, so you can stay in the library and use it and read it. There's probably, I don't know, 10 or 15 copies in there. So if you want to go and look at the book, you can go to the MCC library. There's lots of copies on reserve there. Just go ask the librarian at the front desk. Okay. So this is that book that I was talking about, Chemistry for Biology Students. Here's the ISBN. You can look it up online. I'm not going to have you do that. Whatever book you buy or whatever text, you do not need the Mastering Biology CD. We use Canvas, right? That's where I have all the video links and all the other stuff, which is basically what this Mastering Biology does. So we're not going to use Mastering Biology CD. The lab manual. Every lab has a lab manual link to it, and I'll show you that in a second. Obviously, you need a high-speed internet. This is an online class. There's a bunch of other software that you might want to consider downloading. All of it's free or free to you as a student of Maricopa County Community College District. In this course, we're going to study small things, right? So my degree is in molecular and cellular biology and biochemistry. That means I study things like DNA, molecules, how your genes affect you, what do mutations in genes do, how do we correct mutations in genes, and that sort of stuff. So I'm not interested in higher level things. I'm not interested in the organ systems. I have a little interest in the endocrine system because, cardiovascular disease and diabetes are like human diseases, and, they have to do with various compounds in your body and reactions to them. But I don't do anatomy and physiology. I'm not really that interested in ecology, so I don't teach ecology. I don't teach 182. I don't do comparative anatomy. I don't teach. I do teach microbiology, but I teach microbiology for majors, and nobody ever takes that class, so they never offer it. You guys will end up probably taking 205 if you take microbiology, so I don't teach that either. But anyway, so that's the rundown of the classes. You can have 1,000 points in this class. So this class is run on points. The extra credit is worth 0, but I added it on the end. So let's say you got everything perfect, you'd have 1,000 points, and then you did the 25-point extra credit. We'd have 1,025 points, and so on. I divide whatever that number is, 1,025 or whatever it is, how many ever extra credit points you get, and I divide that by 2. I would divide that by 1,000, and that gives me the percentage of your grade. All right. And then so whatever the percent is, 90% to 100% plus is an A, 80% to 89.9% is a B, and so on. But it's by the point system because it's all divided by 1,000 anyway. You're going to have 4 exams in here. All of the exams cover 4 chapters except the last one. It covers 3 chapters. So your first exam will cover chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4. So make sure you watch the lectures, do the crosswords, do the study guides, and take the quizzes for all of those. The quizzes, like I said, there's 15 quizzes. I dropped the lowest 10, so that's 100 points. They're 10 points each. That's 10% of your grade. Labs, so the labs, this is a lab class. It's required for the lab. There are 14 labs. I dropped the lowest 2 labs. I don't give makeup labs. If you miss a lab, you get a 0. I drop your lowest 2 scores. If you miss more than 2 labs, then I reserve the right to withdraw you from the class because a lot of the medical schools and stuff that you take in this class for require you to take this as a laboratory course. And if you're not turning in labs, you're not taking it as a laboratory course. So I will drop you. I will send you an email and say, where's your labs? And if you don't produce them, then the next question is going to be, why was I dropped from the class? Because you didn't turn in at least 12 labs, or you missed more than 3 labs or 2 labs. So make sure you do the labs. This is not a lecture class. This has a lab component to it, which is worth 1/3 of your grade. So you need to do the labs. We talked about quizzes. I don't take attendance in lecture. However, if you don't log in, there's a lot of financial aid fraud that's been going on. And if you don't log in the first week, I will drop you. We don't want people signing up for classes, taking the government money, and then just blowing it off. So you need to participate in class. Lab attendance, you need to do the labs. Like I said, no makeup labs. Everything's in Canvas. I can withdraw you all the way to the end of the class. So you don't need to drop. Don't freak out. Just talk to me and let's open a dialogue about what you should do about the course. If you have a disability, you need to contact disability resources. We don't have to worry about classroom rules and visitation because this is online. Veterans have a special enrollment. If you need tutoring help, we talked about that. This is the schedule that I follow for my in-person class. So this is to keep you on point and so that you know when you should be done covering that material for that chapter, right? So if you're not done covering the material for chapter 4 by February 14th, then you're behind, right? There's not any gap days in here. So you need to keep up, study every day. So anyway, in red it tells you when the exams open and when they close. I do not extend exams. Don't ask me to extend exams. Don't ask me to take your exam, unless you have a disability anywhere else than through lockdown. I don't. I don't. There's nothing I can do about it if you have an internet problem that day. So you better make sure that you have a secure, fast internet connection. And if you're worried about it, take the test early because I'm not going to give you an extension on the exam if you're like, oh, well, I took it at 11 at night and it kicked me out. There's nothing I can do about it. You can drop one exam and your final count is twice. So if you have that issue once, then it'll be a 0. The next time, you'll be dropped from the class. So make sure you have a secure, good, reliable, fast internet connection when you take these exams. Okay. So that's the syllabus. I showed you the quizzes. Like I told you, I take the highest of 3 grades. The quiz questions are very similar to the questions that you'll see on the exam. So make sure that you take all 3 attempts, even if you get a perfect score, because you'll see questions that you might not otherwise have seen, which will help you perform better on the exams. Remember, the exams are almost 2/3 of your grade, 60% of your grade. The labs are 30% of your grade. The quizzes are 10% of your grade. So I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, if you have any questions or whatever, let me know. If I've made a mistake or there's an error on here, let me know. And just communicate with me. You can email me through Canvas. You can also email me at obermiller@mesacc.edu. You can call my office. My office number is on the syllabus. But you need to go through the syllabus. And then it tells you what's going on, what you should be doing. So by Tuesday, you should already be going through Chapter 1 lecture videos. All right. So good luck this semester. And again, keep in touch because if you just ghost me, I don't know what's going on. All right. Have a good one.